As you know, your textbook contains 22 chapters. Rather than overwhelm you with all that material, Professor Rees has selected 12 chapters he believes will be most valuable for new investigators. While beginning investigators will often start with property crimes, violent crimes typically take higher priority. It's also important to remember that property and violent crime investigations often overlap. For example, a burglary may be committed to facilitate a sexual assault or homicide. This chapter focuses on crimes involving children. Having investigated numerous cases of child abuse and maltreatment, Professor Rees understands the profound and lasting impact these crimes have on young victims. Notably, research shows a common thread among many serial offenders: a history of abuse or neglect during childhood. For this reason, Professor Rees included this topic among the 12 chapters chosen for in-depth study in this course. Few crimes stir stronger emotions than those involving children. Sadly, crimes against children have risen dramatically in recent years, reaching what many call epidemic levels. This chapter explores the difficult realities of investigating these cases, from child abuse and shaken baby syndrome to sexual exploitation, internet crimes, and missing children. You'll also learn about sex offender registration, school threats, and how investigators work with medical professionals to uncover the truth. These are some of the most challenging, and most important, cases an investigator will ever face. The leading cause of child deaths resulting from abuse is physical violence, most often inflicted by parents. Clinically, such cases are referred to as battered child syndrome. Physical abuse can range from minor assaults to severe and deliberate torture. While abusers may use a variety of objects, the most common are belts and electrical cords. Burn injuries account for 6 to 20% of child abuse cases, and about 10% of pediatric burn unit admissions result from abuse. Burns can be classified by severity or by how they occurred, which helps determine if the injury was accidental or deliberate. Scald burns, caused by hot liquids, are the most common, including spill, splash, and immersion injuries. Contact burns occur from hot solids or flames, and non-accidental contact burns can be especially difficult to distinguish from accidents. A child's age and the circumstances of the burn can greatly influence the severity of the injury. The most common type of instrument used to inflict contact burns in child abuse cases is cigarettes. Although SIDS is a medical phenomenon, not a crime, misunderstandings can lead investigators to mistakenly suspect homicide. Also called crib death, SIDS is the sudden and unexplained death of an apparently healthy infant, even after a complete autopsy. Victims often appear well-nourished but may have blood-tinged frothy fluids around the mouth, vomitus on the face, and a wet diaper. Autopsies may show lung congestion, petechial hemorrhages, and minor respiratory inflammation. Common misconceptions about SIDS are that its causes include choking, illness, hyperthermia, or abuse. One leading theory is that SIDS results from spontaneous, prolonged apnea, or a sudden cessation of breathing, but the exact cause remains unknown. In SIDS cases, law enforcement officers are often the first to witness parents' shock and grief. Key details, like the infant's age, who last saw the child, place, and position of death, and any changes to that position, help determine the cause. While SIDS is medical, some deaths may actually be criminal homicides, with smothering being the most commonly overlooked method. Many child deaths result from deliberate head injuries, often inflicted by a caregiver. Infants may be brought to hospitals with false explanations, like falling out of a crib, but trauma can cause fatal brain hemorrhages. Coups-contre-coup injuries occur at the site of impact and on the opposite side of the skull, both potentially causing serious brain damage. Shaken baby syndrome involves violently shaking a child, often in response to crying, which can result in severe intracranial injuries or death, even without visible external trauma. MRI can detect old and new injuries, revealing patterns of repetitive abuse. Recognizing these patterns helps protect the child, guide legal action, and prevent further harm. Munchausen syndrome by proxy occurs when a caregiver deliberately makes a child sick or injures them to gain medical attention for themselves. Investigators should consult psychologists, explore all possible causes, and identify who had exclusive control of the child. Physicians, especially radiologists, are essential, and interviews with caregivers, neighbors, and teachers must be handled carefully to uncover the truth. Professor Rees has asked me to end this video here since it is already 6 minutes long. We will pick up with child sexual exploitation further along in this SWAY presentation. Again, please read your text and learn to take notes. Note-taking is a very important part of criminal investigation. Have a great day!